A massive thank you to all of our sponsors on the Suffolk Non-League show. Without their help and support this year, we would not have been able to have made the improvements that we have done to the show. Other than sponsoring one of our local sides, Grunsborough in the SIL, GBS are a family-run construction company in Ipswich operating nationwide with over 30 years experience in fire protection, diamond drilling, commercial building, health and safety and asbestos removal. Starling & Lock, a self-employed electrician since 1989 offering domestic work and certificates for people buying and selling houses, an NIC EIC member based in the Stowmarket, Suffolk area. All of the branding that you see on the Suffolk Non-League show comes from these guys at Matchday Marketing. They are a sports marketing and branding company helping enhance the image and profile of grassroots football and non-league clubs at a very low cost, utilising over 20 plus years in the game. All of the merchandise that is available with the Suffolk Non-League show has come from these guys at Your Shirts. They offer eye-catching, professional-looking garments for your business, team, club or organisation. They offer a range of printing methods to cover all individual costs. Doesn't matter if it's text, images or anything else that you require to look unique and stand out from the competition. These guys are creating our website and they can do the same for you. Clabber Creative are an agency based in Framlingham, Suffolk, offering fully managed football club websites. They are about giving your club a professional look, feel and ongoing support to maintain the site. Alpha Surveys, providing topographical and measured building surveys throughout East Anglia. If you are in need of quality surveys on any home improvements, contact Alpha Surveys on Instagram. Links for all of these companies will be in the description below. Go and check them out and tell them that DeeJam has sent you. Good evening, everybody. Hello and welcome along to another live show. It is the Suffolk Non-League show. It is, of course, Monday night, and we are live once again across YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Sadly, not Twitter. I'm not entirely sure why. The broadcasting software that we are using is not allowing us to go through Twitter at the moment. So if you are one of those people that knows somebody who uses Twitter to get their live feed for tonight's show, make sure you send them the link for tonight's show from a YouTube perspective. Put it in all of your WhatsApp groups, all of those kind of things like that. Let's get this shared around as much as we possibly can. As you can see, it is once again just myself this evening. Adam is still away on his hollybobs. I have been told that he is coming back, hopefully, either tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on how quickly he can kind of get away. But I think he might be in the chat this evening. So if it is, Adam, hello. Hope you're doing all right, mate. And he will be back for next week's show. And to everybody who's been sending in messages, I am doing a lot better. As you can probably see, I am 10 times better than what I was the other day. Still not quite got over the tickly throat. So if you see me reaching for this, I do apologize. Normally when I do that, Adam would fill in for me, but there we go. Nothing that can be done about it. I'll get to all of your comments in just a moment. I can see loads of you are already piling into the comment section and onto the show, which is fantastic. If you are enjoying what we do on the show, there are a number of ways, obviously, that you can support the show. First of all, you can go over to the Suffolk Non-League Show's merchandise store, where you can get your hats, hoodies, t-shirts and mugs, which are the hoodies at the moment are doing really well. They are selling quite nicely. So thank you to everybody who has purchased a hoodie recently, especially as we're now entering into autumn time. Sadly, I think the summer's going to be disappearing fairly soon. You might want to get yourself a hoodie as we start to enter those colder months, and all of the money that gets put into that site gets reinvested back into the channel. Or if you want to make a one-off donation, you can do so via Ko-fi. So if you go over to the link which is on screen here, Suffolk Non-League Show. You can make a one-off donation like these absolute legends have. Or if you're watching from YouTube, hit the $sign like Michael Crowford did last weekend, and you can make a donation live on the show. We'll bring it up on the screen. Any comment that you put in there has to be read out. You can also make monthly donations as well, like these absolute legends have. Go over to patreon.com/DeeJam, and from as little as £1 a month, you can put something towards the show. If you are enjoying what we are doing, as I said, like these guys have, then feel free to do so. And yeah, as you would have seen from a tweet that Adam put out yesterday, it was 1 year anniversary of this show going live, which it's just been an absolutely crazy year. Let's face it, it's been absolutely mental. We'll try and do something a little bit different for next week's show, because we had the 50th the week before. This week's show is kind of like the 1 year celebration and anniversary. So we're going to try and bring everything together when Adam is back and do maybe something like a special show. Not entirely sure, but we'll try and get something penciled in for that. But yeah, 1 year of doing the Suffolk Non-League Show. Wow, absolutely flown by. Let's get some of your comments up on the screen. Corley's in the building. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're well. Currently watching my beloved Irons. Let us know the score throughout the show. I'd be really interested to kind of hear. But yes, I am doing a lot better. Ryan, evening, lads. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hannah is in the building. Hope you're doing okay. Ipswich Town, evening all. Hope you're feeling better. Yes, miles better. Yeah, miles better. I've been back to work, which is always a good sign. Apparently. James Redmond's here. Evening, mate. Evening, Alex. Evening, Ben. Adam, there he is. I knew he'd be in the chat somewhere. Shem, evening all. Happy 1 year anniversary for the show. Great work. Yeah. Just like I said, where the hell's the year gone? It's been absolutely mental. Glenn's here. Good evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Jack, evening. Can't believe Adam has gone on the honeymoon without you. I know. Shocking behaviour. You never see me going away on holiday. There we go. Dean, it's been a while, but good evening, everyone. I hope all is well. Yes, it has been a couple of weeks since we last saw you, Dean, but I hope you're doing well and you're keeping safe, etc. Dave Venables, good evening and happy 1 year. Thank you very much. Have to say I'm really worried. Yeah, their start has been very tough. We'll get into them a little bit later on in the show. Matchday Marketing is here. Good evening. Hope you're doing well. Reese is in the building, as is Irv. Connor Ellis is here. Fantastic. Luke, the hoodies are amazing to wear. Thank you. That's really nice. We selected the best possible hoodie and t-shirt material that we could possibly get. So I'm glad that you like them. And if anybody's thinking, maybe sitting on the fence about getting a hoodie, there you go. We'll put that as a, what do they call it? Recommendation sort of thing on the site. Really good to see that. Dan, evening, lads. Hope you're better. James, yes, I am. Can't wait to get my hoodie. Yes, yours is in the post, my man. Match day, any chance of a Claydon away top? Yeah. Let's see if we can try and get that done. Fergus is also here. Evening, mate. Mark Morsley, even mate. Hope you're doing well. Adam, holiday in the football season. I know, shocking. Although I can't really say an awful lot. My Saturdays have been completely wiped out this entire month. It's been absolutely disgraceful from my wife's part, organising things and being social throughout the month of August. How dare she? How very, very dare she? But there we go. It is what it is. I knew this was going to happen. The moment the floodgates open and we can go and see people, life can return back to normal. My time gets solidly booked up and I'm no longer available to go watch football matches, which is a shame, but there we go. It's just life at the moment, isn't it? Bill's here. Evening, James, and hello to all those regulars. Hope everybody is well. And Maverick UK is in the building as well. Good evening, my friend. Hope you are doing very well. Let's get on with tonight's show. We have got two managerial changes that need to be talked about, and I want you guys to get involved in the comment section. We've had the FA Cup draw, and obviously we need to go through all of the results and talking points from this week's action and looking forward to the week's head. So we're going to start off with the March Town United statement. Let's talk about that to begin with. March Town United relieving their manager of his duties this week. Now, when the news first dropped, it didn't go down particularly well on social media. And what I want to hear from you guys is, why did it not go down so well? Did it sit right with you? What do you make of the decision to get rid of their manager? I want to hear from you in the comment section right now. I know Adam's thoughts on it. Adam, if you're watching, mate, put it in the comments so I can read it out right now. But for those of you who haven't seen it, here is the statement that March made. It was very, very brief, incredibly brief. There was not an awful lot to their statement. All they put on there was, the club can today confirm that Aaron Duke has been relieved of his duties as the first team manager. This has been a very difficult decision and not one the board has taken lightly. We are grateful to Aaron and what he has achieved in his time at the club, and we wish him all the very best for the future. Ash Taylor has been appointed interim manager, and we wish him well. So, not an awful lot to say from the statement. I know they've had a very tricky start to the season. Things have been quite tough for them, but we're not even at the end of August, and already we've seen a manager. We've seen a manager go. Now, as I said, some of the reaction to this decision online, I'll just read out some of the comments below. You reap what you sow in football. Just hope that this does not come back to bite you. Sacking a manager who lives and breathes the club after 4 games is ridiculous. Rumour has it he was told that win, loss or draw, he was still going to be sacked. Absolutely disgusting as a club that you sack a manager who helped you get promotion. Quite shocked by this news. Thank you to all of the memories. I can't believe the club have allowed you to go. Promotion and you're only given 4 games. Wow, no pressure on the next man then. Now, it wasn't very well received. Those were some of the comments that you saw when the news broke. Now, we don't know the full ins and outs of what goes on at a football club, so it's sometimes a bit difficult to know whether or not what has been said is what is accurately being described and whether or not it's actually what happened. You don't know what kind of conversations happen behind closed doors, but I don't know, 4 games into a season, it does seem very, very harsh to get rid of a manager who, as people quite rightly said when they replied to it, has helped you get promotion to step 5 level of football, and then he's barely given any time to try and sort things out. So I want to hear what you guys have to say on it. What do you make of a decision? Let us know down in the comment section. Adam, ridiculous. I knew he'd chirp up a bit. What are you not happy about with that decision, mate? Let me know. We kind of briefly talked about it a little bit the other day. I know we kind of DM'd each other kind of privately on there. So let us know why you think that. Dean, seems like an easy option so early to maybe bring in a more known name. That could well be true. From March Town's perspective, they haven't released much news by the way of who they're going to be replacing him with. As I said, is literally just the fact that Ash Taylor is coming in as his interim. I don't know. There's not really any names that I've seen that have been touted to maybe kind of take over from this role. But as I said, it does seem quite harsh on that. Dave, shocking decision, gets promoted and you play 4 games, clearly an agenda from those above him. Again, difficult to kind of say without knowing the full ins and outs, but it does seem a bit harsh. I'd love to know. So clubs can either go into a lot of detail in their statements, which is great because it kind of gives us a lot to unpack and a lot to go through and gives us a bit more ammunition to sort of say, okay, well, I can kind of understand where they're coming from. But it literally was, we've relieved him of his duties. Thank you very much. But here we're moving on. So it does seem a bit harsh. I don't know. But as I said, I want to hear what you guys have to say on it. Jack, way too early. Surely something else to it. Surprising it was such a short statement. Also, again, that is my main pick from this is maybe not necessarily the decision itself, because results-wise, yeah, it's only 4 games, but they've not been good. But it's the fact that it was such a short statement for somebody who got you promoted. It does seem a bit harsh. Very harsh after 4 games in a higher league, says Ipswich. Shane has got involved. Thanks for joining the show once again, mate. I lost my first 3 games at step 5, thankfully, which dismissed me way too soon, in my honest opinion. Hello, VK. Welcome to the show. Shem, seems harsh, but you don't know what is happening behind the scenes. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. That is the thing. We kind of need to know a little bit more about that. Adam, can't understand what can be so final 4 games after being promoted. Yeah, very, very harsh. Just a very, very strange decision. And who knows, maybe the guy that's going to be coming in will do a bit of a job and maybe kind of steer things slightly differently. But it'll be interesting to see which way they go now. Do they go, as a comment said earlier on, I can't remember who said it, whereabouts was it? Dean's comment up here. Maybe they'll go with a more experienced name to kind of just steady the ship a little bit at this level of football, or will they go down a completely different route? I don't honestly know which way this could go, but as I said, we will keep an eye on it, and hopefully if we hear more about it in the next few days, then we'll see how that goes. Dean, yeah. I mean, who would want the job after seeing how easy you can be let go? It's a very good point. It's a very, very good point. Ian Honeyman, nothing surprises me in football anymore. It does. No, it shouldn't do. I mean, that news did shock me. I mean, as I said, it's not been great. It's not been the best start to the season, but I have to admit, it shouldn't shock you, but it did. It did for me. If he gets sacked at 4 games, the Daniel Farker hasn't gone for he's fine. Farker's going to be there the whole season. Trust me on that one. Adam, exactly what Dean said. Who knows? They might sell you a project. They might sell you something that, that could interest you, and you might be prepared to take that opportunity. But, we'll have to wait and see. As I said, we will keep an eye on it. And if we get any updates from March, we will, of course, keep you guys in the loop. The second managerial change that we had in our region is Dis Town. Now, this one came kind of out of the blue, really, because unlike what's going on with March, Dis have actually had a relatively good start to their season. They are sat in 3rd place at the moment in the Thurlow Nunn North. They've played 5 games. They've won 3 and lost 2. They're sitting in the playoff positions. They're doing quite well. However, a managerial change, but for a slightly different reason. Again, not really an awful lot elaborated on this. Whereas previously we've had Hadley go through their change of manager and people releasing statements and actually explaining the reasons why they were leaving. Not so much in this case. We've just seen the reaction to it. Here's what Dis Town had to say on their social medias. All they've put on here is that Dis Town have just accepted the resignation of Michael King and Andrew Hammersley as first team managers due to work commitments. We thank them for their work and commitment towards the club. In the interim, Connor Nicol, Owen French and Matthew Wilson will look after the team. Again, a little bit of a reaction online. Real shame as looking good this season. Very difficult to challenge in the first year. This year was about kicking on. Got a natural goal scorer, though, which is a great start for a new gaffer who comes in place. A few kind of comments about the club. Not going to read it. If you go over to Dis's Twitter account, you'll see what I mean about maybe things not going particularly well in the past. Let's just leave it at that. But a few nice touches and a few nice comments about the people who are going to be looking after the club in the interim to kind of steady the ship. And again, we'll kind of keep in touch with this to see who they do appoint as a managerial change. But as I said, this one is slightly different. We've got March, who have started off the season very poorly. Things have not been going very well. And we've got Dis, who have started off doing quite well. We've actually started off the season impressively, as I said, doing well in terms of a league table. But the managers have left due to work commitments, stuff outside of football. How are Dis going to react from that? Because they've been pretty good. They've been pretty good on this part. Mark, just touching back on the Mark's, put another comment in to do with March Town. It's step 5 and it's the end of August. Going up is always tougher than managing these times to adjust, as do the players. It's a bonkers decision. On to Dis, James Redmond. The Dis one surprised me. Just basically signed a whole new team. So Dis are going back to the way they were, says Ipswich Town on there. Possibly. As I said, it just seemed as if they'd finally settled down and got everything steadied at the football club, and they looked like they were going to be going in a positive forward momentum and getting things going again, and actually would be one of those teams that tipped to be an outside chance of getting into the playoffs. And now this has happened. I know, as I said, I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, I know Dis get a bit of a bad rep online, and certain people have maybe history with the club and they don't like them. They've treated me really well when I've gone there. I quite like them as a football club. I just don't want to see this derail them, because I actually think they've got a pretty good shot this year. You just don't want to see players leaving as a result. You know, like I said, if it looked like things were just starting to get back on track, but there we go. Dave Venables, Ben Rose back, hat-trick standard. Dis can't catch a break with management the last few years. Yeah, I have to. Again, I've only been covering non-league football for a limited period of time, but managerial side of it, they have not had the best luck since, particularly myself and Adam, been covering this level of football. Sorry to those listening on the podcast platform to the show later on. This move is even weirder, says Adam. I can't understand this drama at every turn, despite this year them having a decent squad. Shane, work commitments? Surely they knew before they started. Very strange statement. Possibly. We had, as I said, the situation down at Hadley where I can't remember the bloke's name who left Hadley. Someone will put it in the comment section, I'm sure. Got a new job as a head teacher of a school, and that is his priority, and that kind of changed things. So we don't honestly know. I haven't seen anything from Michael or from Andrew just kind of say what the circumstances are, but again, Dis have not put out the biggest of statements, very much like March, so we're kind of going off just one piece of information to go by, so who knows on that part. Shem Dis should be on Amazon Prime. Yeah, can you imagine that? That would be quite entertaining. Dean, Dis Town always seem to get going, and then it goes to bits. Strange they've built a completely brand new side, then they say work commitments. I feel there is always an issue up the chain there, and it's negative. Yeah, again, it's difficult to kind of comment without being on the inside, but there is a lot of negativity. But as I said, that was starting to turn this year. I think the past couple of years, that was changing. So, it's a strange one. Really is a strange one. Jack, Dis Twitter account is always entertaining. Imagine they will have a few interested, especially now Ben Rose is back. I would probably tend to agree with you on that one, Jack. I really, really would. Manager didn't like the walk from the train station. Look, once you've made that walk, you're never doing it again. If I ever go to Dis, I am 100% driving. I am not making that same mistake once again. Good ship shop, though. Yeah, very good. I can understand. D-Fam, hello. Not entirely sure what that's about, but hello, D-Fam from DeeJam. Hello, hope you're doing all right. Dan Snell, work commitments is a strange one. There's no night games in Thurlow Nunn North this season, but you have to respect the decision and move on. Again, it's going to, I agree with that, Dan. It's going to be very interesting to see where Dis now go from this move and how they kind of bounce back. Yes, Appleford. I knew it was. I've spoken to Christian so many times. I don't know why his name completely went out of my mind. But yeah. Thank you to everybody who jumped in on that one. Shane, this is a great club, large fan base. However, fans are extremely passionate with very judgmental, but very judgmental as are the board, and their expectations are difficult to meet, I feel, in the past few years. Which again, I feel like I'm just kind of repeating myself, but it has said it seemed like things were finally starting to be on the right track for them. Next appointment is key, because if you derail this and the good momentum and the good things that were going on and off the pitch, they've got them to this point. If you derail that now by making the wrong appointment, I think they're going to be in this league for a long time. This felt like the year that they could get into the playoffs and something could be done about getting promoted again. It will be very, very interesting to see what the next appointment is and how that pans out. But we will, again, keep an eye on it. Hopefully we can get some news on that quickly. We wish Connor, Owen and Matthew all the best as they take over the club. And we'll see how that one goes. Dean, I agree with Shane. But yeah, 2 managerial appointments. If you are watching this on catch up, that's the one. If you're watching this on catch up, let us know down in the comment section what you make of those 2 changes. So there we go. Fergus, Gaffer didn't train midweek and didn't attend Saturday's game. It's an interesting one. So yeah, as I said, March and this now looking for new managers, and we will keep up to date with that as and when we can. Now let's move on then. So let's start getting into the results and also the upcoming fixtures that we have for the week ahead. If you went to any of these games, you've got a little bit of a match report you want to give us, get it involved in the comment section as we go through. We're going to be starting off with the FA Cup, then going from step 3 downwards. So again, if you've got any feedback on any of the games, if you are heading to a game in the upcoming week and you want us to talk about a particular one that you're looking forward to, get it in the comment section. I want to hear from you guys as we go through all of this. Likewise, if you are around tomorrow night, if you are potentially going to a game, we are doing the non-league now live from 7:40, where we go through all of the scores and all of the talking points from Tuesday night's games. If you are at a game and you want to be on the show, either giving match reports or sending us in your highlights, DM me after tonight's show, and I will make sure that we can get you on board. We want to get as many people involved as the non-league now as possible. If you are not going to a game and you want to join me tomorrow night, as I said, hopefully Adam can be here as well, then get on board. So tomorrow night, the non-league now at 7:40, we will be live on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. So let's get on to the FA Cup. Let's go through some of the results from this weekend that have just gone. So a bit of a mixed bag for some of our teams in this area. Again, if you were at any of these matches, let me know in the comment section what you thought on each game. So we start off at the top page there. We had Brantham losing to Spalding United 3-0. Apologies. Cockfosters 1, AFC Sudbury 2. And we do have some highlights from that game, which I will be bringing up on the screen in just a few moments. It's Coggenho 0, Dereham 2, Fakenham 0, Bury Town 1. Are we shocked that Bury only managed to 1 against Fakenham? I know a few people were very shocked on that one. Fakenham, by all accounts, giving those guys a very good game over there. Felixstowe 5-3 winners against Southend Manor. So a very high scoring game involving Felixstowe United. Kirkley and Pakefield 0, Northampton on Chenix 1. Mulbarton 1-0 against Hadley. We then had Norwich United beating Newmarket by 1-0. Potton United beating Walsham Le Willows 5-1. What a scoreline from that game. Stowmarket then beating Whittam Town 4-0. A very, very comprehensive win for Stowmarket in their game against Whittam. We're beating United 1-0. Wisbech Town beating Whitton United 2-0, and Yaxley drawing 1-1 against Mildenhall. Here we go. Let's get your comments up on the screen here. Yaxley versus Mildenhall was an excellent game, says Dan. Yaxley were 1-0 up at half-time. Second half was all Mildenhall, and they thoroughly deserved a draw, although they scored very late on. So that one will be a very, very interesting replay that we've got coming up midweek. Dan also puts on there. Also, congratulations to Yaxley's Dan Cotton, who scored his 200th goal for the club. Wow. That's incredible. That is incredible. Match day marketing, albeit Wroxham versus Fakenham or Mulbarton versus Lakenheath. If you are at a game tomorrow night, mate, and you want to come on the show, DM me and I'll make sure we can get you on just to kind of give us some reports on that one. Dan, gutted for Whitton. Yeah, again, I'd need to kind of know what happened in that game. But yeah, 2-0 against Wisbech Town. Gutted for those guys as well. Dan, I'm off to Soham versus Corby replays tomorrow night. We will. I know it's not our particular area of the country, but we are open on the non-league now to bringing you as many results and as many match day reports as is possible. So yes, we will make sure Dan is going to be on the show giving us his report from Soham versus Corby. Really looking forward to hearing what happens in that particular game. So if you want to be like Dan, you want to dial in, definitely get in contact with me after the show. Jack, Matchday Marketing, come to Mulberry Park, dial in to James for me, as I'll be busy on Twitter / taking pictures. Yeah, Jack, if he does, fantastic. If not, maybe just send us a quick halftime report if you are at all possible. Upper toe, says Ryan. On here as well, Jack. We've got Fakenham had a very good defensive display in that game. Yeah, as I said, I think a few people were shocked that it was only 1-0. But you know, I think that's a very impressive performance from Fakenham, and from Bury's side, just they'll be grateful that they've got through to the next round. Lord Michael Crofer, thank you very much once again for your donation on the super chat last week, mate. That is very, very much appreciated. Stowe 4-0 versus Whittam. Stowe looked very good, great passing, and looked very comfortable. I think that's the kind of overall feeling that I got from the game, from what I read online, was that Stowe did have complete control over large aspects of that game, and by all accounts deserves to win on that one. Shane, report direct here from the manager. Absolutely love this. We were awful Saturday, worst for some time, and we didn't deserve anything. We missed 4 key players, but no excuses. We go again tomorrow in what is a massive game. Yeah, I completely agree with that. We'll get onto your fixture later on, because that is a very, very big game for the club. But very honest assessment there from Shane about what happened for Whitton United in their 2-0 defeat on the weekend. I was at Needham, and that was the worst game I've ever seen them play. Had nothing going forward, didn't really have a natural striker. Definitely need a natural striker. We'll talk about Needham in a minute, because they're going to be the next one after the FA Cup results. Ryan, Bury had 28 shots compared to Fakenham's 4. Wow, absolutely mental. TJ, Wisbech looked comfortable in my opinion. Whitton didn't show much on the day. Good win for Potton on their poor result for Walsham. Another home draw against one of our sides. Jack Owen, a game for Mulbarton versus Hadley. A game with very few chances versus Hadley. A good old-fashioned battle. We got the goal early on and deserved to win in the end. So there we go. Some of the results and talking points from this weekend, which does now mean that we have got 2 games coming up during the week. Now, you'll be able to see on here, Marchtown United, I think, if I'm correct in saying, they've got a reprieve from the previous round going out due to another team not being eligible to play. So they are now playing their preliminary fixture that they should have played this weekend. They are playing on Tuesday night against Ardsley Town away from home. We then got Mildenhall and Yaxley, who you saw, and you know from Dan's report on there, was a 1-1 result. The replay is being played on Tuesday. If you're in the Mildenhall area, by all accounts from what Dan has told me, that will be a very, very good game to go and watch. So if you are in that area, go and check that out. FA Cup replay on there. There you go. Budbrooke, St Michael's removed from the competition and March are now back in. I knew there was a reason why they were playing. I said, I think the game was possibly meant to be taking place on Saturday, but due to Budbrooke now going out, that's the reason why March are now in. And then, of course, today at 1 p.m, we had the FA Cup draw, which was announced. So here are the draws for our teams in this particular part of the country. So first qualifying round, fixtures are due to be taking place on the 4th of November. So it's not this Saturday, but the following Saturday coming. We've got Enfield versus DeeJam Town. It's Bury Town versus Norwich United. And Suffolk versus Norwich. Suffolk versus Norfolk game of football. You love to see it, especially in the FA Cup. Potton United, who had a very impressive result in the extra preliminary rounds, are playing home against AFC Sudbury, so a difficult task for those guys at Sudbury. Felixstowe and Walton's reward for winning is a home tie against Great Wakering Rovers. Leiston versus Brighton Sea Region. Lille Oakley or Hertford versus Kirkley and Patefield. So Kirkley have got an away game tie to be decided on a replay. Stowmarket are rewarded with a home tie against Potters Bar Town. Mulbarton are going to be at home against either FC Romania or Welham Garden City. Arsley or March, depending on who wins on Tuesday, will be at home against Bowers and Pitsea. Needham Market versus St Ives. Royston Town versus Yaxley or Mildenhall, whoever wins that replay. Bishop Stortford versus Lowestoft Town. What game is the highlight of that first round for you? I think for me, without question, it's the Bury Town versus Norwich United match. That is, if I'm available that Saturday, I am 100% getting myself down to Bury Town to watch that game. Without question. Not even a doubt in my mind. Bury Town versus Norwich United, for me, is the tie of the round. Let me know down in the comment section whether or not you agree with that. I'd love to be able to hear your thoughts on there. Shem, Bury versus Norwich with a smiley face. James Redmond, Bury Town versus Norwich United looks like a good one. Ipswich Town, can St Ives just get a bye? No, they can't. Needham will turn this around. They will turn this around. I am positive of that. It's not been a good start, but look, Ipswich have not had a good start, but they will turn things around. It's going to happen. You just need to have a little bit of patience with these things, but no, they can't just get a bye. Ryan Johnson, Bury versus Norwich. I'm a very have man. Do you mean happy man? I'm guessing you mean happy, but let me know. Jack, yeah, I know you'll be definitely rooting for that game. Jack, who would you rather have, FC Romania or Welham Garden City? Let me know in the comment section right now. Which team would you rather have? I mean, do you even care if you're at home? Do you really care? Let me know. Let me know, mate. Dan, no new ground for me if I want to watch any of our teams in brackets. I've been to all of those clubs drawn at home. Wow. That just goes to show your level of ground hopping abilities, my friends, that you have been to every single one. Yeah, I thought you meant happy. From Saturday's performance, I can't see a turnaround. We'll get into that. Mulbarton versus FC Norwich Road. Playing against the whole of Romania would be hard. Well done, Adam. Well done, Adam. I'm sure you are the first and the only person to have ever made that joke. I am sure of it. Dave Venables, FC Romania. Think of the travel. Oh dear me, you guys do better than that. You really, really do. So yeah, some good looking ties in there. Be very, very interesting. But as I said, for me, game of the round is Bury versus Norwich United. We'll see how that gets on. Right, moving on to the Southern Premier League Central. Here are some of the results, and we've already talked about it. I'm sure Ipswich has got Ipswich Town has got his thoughts in the conversation. He's already made them loud and clear. Before we do move on, Jack, no idea about either of the teams, both in the same league at step 4. We will take whoever brings the most away fans. Romania versus Holland would be a very good time. John, decent side are Welling Garden. It's not a club I'm too familiar with. Again, as Jack said, whoever's going to take the most away fans will probably be the best bet for Mulbarton, I'm sure. So, results from Saturday for our local sides. We had Leiston losing 2-1 to Redditch United, Needham Market 0, Bronsgrove Sporting 1, and then Lowestoft losing 6-1 away from home at Tamworth. So all three of our local sides at Step 3 lost this weekend. Very, very disappointing. I know we've briefly talked upon Leiston, but now for Lowestoft, that makes it 3 defeats out of 3. Are we worried for Lowestoft? It's a club I want to go to at some point to kind of get a bit of an idea about what is going on down there, but that's not a good result. Really, really isn't a good result. I know Tamworth are a good side, and obviously they are well known and have recent heritage in the higher levels of non-league football than Step 3. But yeah, are we starting to worry about Lowestoft? I'd love to kind of hear people's thoughts on this one in the comment section right now. Sorry, guys. I just need to clear my throat and get myself a sip of water. So yeah, those are the results from the weekend. Now, in the Southern League Premier Central, we have got the fixtures coming up for this weekend. But the good news is we don't just have Saturday fixtures coming up because there is a bank holiday taking place. Luckily, we have 2 rounds of games going on the Monday. We have Saturday and the Monday. Now, these fixtures these are going to be taking place for Step 3 and Step 4. So if you are looking for some bank holiday Monday football action, Step 3 and Step 4 for local sides is definitely going to be your bag this weekend. Thurlow Nunn and SIL, from what I've seen, there isn't any Monday afternoon action going on. But yeah, if you are looking for some football on the bank holiday, definitely Step 3 and Step 4. So here we go. The fixtures for the Saturday to begin with. We've got Needham Market away from home against Colville Town. Lowestoft, as I said, 3 defeats from 3 games. Need to pick up a win. They are playing Abel Church, who have played 3, won 1 and lost 2. And Leiston are away from home against Nuneaton Borough. Leiston, 1-1, drawn 1, lost 1, are against Nuneaton, who have only picked up a point so far this season. I said all 3 of our sides will want to bounce back from last weekend's disappointment. And then on the bank holiday, we have got, where else are we looking at here? So Leiston versus Lowestoft, a local derby on the bank holiday. Make sure if you are in the area, go well, I think that is the game to beat. Needham Market do not seem to be playing on the bank holiday. I'm just going to double check that on their website. But from what I can see on here, there is no game for Needham this coming bank holiday. Let's have a look. Teams, first team, fixtures. Yeah, no bank holiday game for Needham. So it's Leiston versus Lowestoft. If you want to get yourself down there, that will be a great derby. Dave, always worry about Lowestoft. Hard to get players of that standard given the location, in my opinion. James Redmond, Stowmarket versus Bury for me on the bank holiday Monday, unless my wife goes into labour. Yeah, no game for Needham. Yeah, I didn't even spot that when I was typing up the fixtures. But yeah, no game for Needham. But yeah, Leiston versus Lowestoft on the bank holiday. So if you are looking at a local derby, there you go. There's your answer in this part of the world. Does the transfer window in the Southern Premier League close? I don't think it does. I don't know. Maybe someone will correct me on that one. Maybe somebody can answer Ipswich Town's question on there. I'll be at Stowe supporting Bury. Let's have it. So here we go. No action taking place in the Isthmian North this weekend. Obviously, we've had all of the FA Cup games, so there was no fixtures to report on, or no results rather to report on from the Isthmian North. However, we do once again have Saturday and Monday action to go through. So first of all, here are Saturday's fixtures up on the screen here. look, result-wise, there's only been the one game, so form-wise, there's not really a huge amount to kind of go on. But again, from a local perspective, we've got Bury Town at home against Holbridge Sports. Both sides lost their opening game in the league. Felixstowe travel away to Canvey Island. Both teams drew their opening game. We've got Adam's favourite, #United away from home at Dereham Town. And Stowmarket, Jesus, what a start to the season. Canvey Island and Malden and Tiptree as your first two league games. If Stowe get anything from Malden and Tiptree, that's a good result. If they can pick up a point, I will consider that a very, very good result. Do you agree with me on that one? Let me know in the comment section right now. And then the bank holiday weekend, we have AFC Sudbury versus Coggeshall Town, Felixstowe versus Dereham, which will be a fantastic game of football. And then the big one, it's Stowmarket versus Bury Town. Now, Adam, big attendance in Stowe. We will be live on the Monday night covering this game. And I know, Adam, we literally talked about a couple of hours before I went live on this show about whether or not I do a Monday game, but the temptation to go down to Stowmarket and record that now, I'm going to have to get some sort of green light from the missus. I'll let you guys know about that, but we will be going live Monday night to react to, obviously, all of these games and all of these talking points. So we shall see. We shall see. Dan, Dereham versus # looks like a very good game, especially as # got turned over on Saturday. Let me know what their score was. I didn't see the FA Cup result for #. So let us know down in the comment section, Dan, what the result was on that one. And there you go, no transfer window at step 3. So Stowe versus Bury seems to be getting everybody's seal of approval in the comment section at the moment. I think, yeah. Yes, yeah, I know these games are at 3:00, but it's about whether or not I can come home and edit the game and still be able to go live on the Monday evening. That's my big thing. But we shall see. We shall see. I'm guessing Gary is predicting a 1-0 win to Stowe. Maybe. Or whether or not you're talking about the fact that they lost 1-0 to Ware on the weekend. So there we go. Appreciate the update in that game. Thank you very much, Shem. Really, really do. Lost 1-0. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, everyone, for letting me know. Right, Thurlow Nunn Premier time. There was a couple of games from midweek. Adam, I know you were at the Swaffham versus Wroxham game. Let me know right now, mate, in the comment section what happened in this game. If you can cast your mind back that far. I know you've been a very, very busy man. March Town lost 2-1 to Mildenhall at home rather. Swaffham 0, Wroxham 5. Wroxham on an absolutely amazing run of form. Absolutely incredible. And I've got some highlights to show you from the March Mildenhall game in just a second. And it was Haverhill 1, Newmarket 2. So let me bring you up on the screen right now some of the highlights from the March Mildenhall game. So first of all, we go on to the 2 minutes 27 second mark. This was the goal that made it Mildenhall 1-0 up. So throw in on the right side, ball's put into the box, headed on, nice finish into the bottom corner. I like that. So that made it 1-0 to Mildenhall. We then have to skip. If we just watch the replay again. Good finish there, to be fair to him. Yeah, good finish into just below the keeper. 3 minutes 35. This made it 1-1. And I believe this was a penalty. Yeah, you can see the defender. I don't know if you saw that, but his own defender is not happy at him. Did you see the centre half? I think they show a replay. Here they go. Watch number 5's reaction. Watch number 5's reaction here. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant. There's a little bit. Let me see if I can try to skip forward a few seconds on here towards the penalty being taken. Referee blows his whistle. and into the bottom right-hand corner. Very, very good penalty there. We then skip ahead to 6 minutes and 30 seconds for the next goal. Ball on the left-hand side being played inside. Then we got it going over to the right. Touch. Bam! Look at that for a goal. 2-1 to Mildenhall. And it looks like it was the right back who scored that goal. Do we get a replay of that? I think we do. I think we do get a replay. Look at this. Oh. Keeper, no chance. What do we make of that, ladies and gents? Let me know down in the comment section what you think of that. So, yeah. March losing that game during the week. 2-1 to Mildenhall. Jesus Christ. Adam, Swaffham would die. It was men against boys. They need some help. They've got no goal threat. Jesus, Adam, not holding back at all. Ipswich Town. How come Wroxham didn't take promotion? It wasn't offered to them. It wasn't offered. Stowe, over the course of the 2 seasons, had the better head-to-head record, so it wasn't even offered to Wroxham. I think if they were offered it, they 100% would have taken it. James, Wroxham scoring for fun. Their goal difference is insane. It's 21 plus at the moment. Yeah, it is ridiculously high. And that was one hell of a goal, says Hannah on there. So they were the midweek action. We then had Saturday's results. Obviously, a lot of FA Cup ties were being taken place, which is why Marchtown versus Long Melford was postponed because of them and their involvement in the FA Cup. We had Ely 2, Haverhill Rovers 3. I could see by the Ely Twitter account they were devastated when that third goal for Haverhill went in. It got back to 2-2. And then to concede again, they were absolutely gutted. And Swaffham, it didn't get any easier for them, losing 5-0 during the week to Wroxham. They then lost 6-0 on the weekend against Galston. Things really tough down there at Swaffham. And then Lakenheath losing 4-0 to Wroxham. So Wroxham, again, scoring 5 during the week. They get 4 on the weekend, and they just continue to go on. They are relentless at the moment. So they are the weekend's results. Dave, Swaffham look like they are doomed. They need about 16 new players. It's not looking great. Adam just kind of tells it as it is. There's no real, there's not really any softening of the blow when it comes to what Adam normally says. So if he's not entirely confident on that one, then, you know, if it kind of probably have to tend to agree with him on that one. Obviously, he was there to witness what happened during the week, so fair play to him for being honest. Shout out to Reece Maisie on his double leg break for Lakenham Reserves. Get well soon. Yes, yeah, echo that for. Hopefully, you do recover very, very quickly. During the week, we have got a lot of Thurlow Nunn Premier action going on this weekend. And again, tomorrow, rather, we will be covering this live on Non-League Now. It's Ely versus Marchtown in a game that both teams, look at the form, 1 win and 7 defeats between Ely and March. Both of these teams will be eyeing this one up as a game that they can get 3 points on without a shadow of a doubt. Hadley versus Walsham the Willows. It's Mulbarton versus Lakenheath. Norwich United versus Galston. Thetford versus Swaffham. And again, you think the Ely March result form is bad. 1 point in the 9 games between Thetford and Swaffham. Again, both teams will be eyeing this one up as one that they can get 3 points on the board. For Witton, well, we wanted to respond from their FA Cup defeat. They're playing Newmarket. It's a bloody hard game. It's a really hard game. Newmarket, 4 wins out of their opening 4 games. They've been in fantastic form. That promises to be a great game of football on Tuesday night. Woodbridge versus Kirkley and Patefield, and then Wroxham versus Fakenham. For 2 completely different reasons. My games of the week, or my games out of that round, it's Witton versus Newmarket in terms of the the headline grabbing game for me will be that one. From a purely what I would like to go and see if I had if I had a complete access to go whatever I wanted and do whatever I want. Thetford versus Swaffham is a game I'd really, really be interested to see from a tactical perspective, how both teams handle that game. I think that could, I mean, from a defensive perspective, look, neither team have really neither team have been amazing. So that game could be anything. But let me know, what do you think from that one? Oh, you are joking. Why is it off? That wasn't off before I went live. No way. Oh, gutted. Oh yeah, and of course Ely versus March is off. Jesus, I'm not doing very well with this graphic. That's terrible. Feel like I've seen Lake and Heath more than my wife this month. Says Jack. That's brilliant. Why is the Thetford game off? Does anybody know? That wasn't there. That wasn't off before I went live. I swear. Maybe somebody can let me know down in the comment section. I'd love to know why. And yeah, of course, Ely versus March will be off. Yeah, if we've yeah, damn it. Another win for Newmarket, says Ipswich. Yeah, so was I. Was looking forward to the Thetford game. I thought that could have been a really, really interesting game to kind of cover. So yeah, looks like it's Whitton versus Newmarket then as the tie of that round. And then on the weekend, we've got Bramford versus Ely, Kirkley and Patefield versus Hadley, Long Melford versus Thetford Town, Mildenhall versus Walsham, the Willows, Mulbarton versus Haverhill, Swaffham versus Newmarket. Good luck to Swaffham. Whitton versus Galston. So Whitton's next two games are really, really tricky. Woodbridge versus Lake and Heath, and then Wroxham versus March Town. Oh my God. Good luck, March. Good luck, Swaffham. You guys are going to need it. And look at that from a Thetford perspective. Their game against Long Melford becomes even more important. But some great ties in that game. The Mildenhall versus Walsham one kind of goes under the radar, but that could be a very good game. The Whitton Galston one from a win perspective probably stands out. Yeah, some really, really interesting games. The Hadley away at Kirkley one could be really, really interesting. Thetford Twitter account just says that the game is cancelled, so we don't know any particular reason why. That's really interesting. Apparently it's due to COVID, but it got called off at 8 p.m. That's probably why I haven't seen it. Maybe I haven't been checking Twitter of much. No idea on why the game is being cancelled. No, there's literally no reaction to it at all. Shane, big week ahead with two of the promotion hunting teams. Tough next two games for Whitton. Excited to be covering both of them. This will be a sign for Whitton to see whereabouts they're at. Be very, very interesting to see. So yeah, that is the Thurlow Nunn. Thurlow Nunn Premier. What games are you looking forward to watching? Coming up this week. Thurlow Nunn North, no midweek action, and I don't think there's going to be any midweek action for a long time in this division. So few teams are left. There's not really any reason to compete or have midweek games. There we go. Reason confirmed. Swaffham assistant manager has just tweeted saying it was because of COVID. Which side? Do we know if it's Thetford or whether or not it's Swaffham? Who knows? So yeah, Distown 3, Needham Market 1, Parsons Drove 2, all against Debenham LC, Framlingham 1, Whittlesea Athletic 1, Halston 4, Wisbeach St Mary 1, Huntingdon 0-0 against Norwich CBS, Peterborough North End 2, Great Yarmouth Town 1, UEA versus Leiston Reserves was a 1-1 draw. My standout result from this one, it's not the glamorous one. It's really, really not a glamorous one. But Norwich CBS getting a point away against Huntingdon Town, for me, that's a very, very impressive performance. That, Huntingdon have started off the season incredibly well. Before that game, they had won their opening 3 matches. And I think for Norwich to go away from home and get a draw there, that for me, I think is a fantastic performance. Yeah, that for me is a standout result from there. There you go. Huntingdon were down to 10 men after 15 minutes, which from a Huntingdon perspective is a very good point in the end, then you would have to say. As poor as Swaffham are, their fixture list isn't kind, says Adam. Dan Crossett was speech brilliant. Leyton reserves have given debuts to 5 16-year-olds this season due to injuries and suspensions. I love that from the club. I did have, and I think it was yourself, Ian, who messaged me, and I don't know if I replied at all, but I think it might have been yourself, Ian, who messaged me with a list of why I was wrong. You think you emailed me about why I was wrong to do with Leyton reserves. I absolutely love that from you. That is absolute quality, Ian. I rate the amount of effort you went into to reply to that email, and I've just been really busy, but I will sit down and reply to that. And for putting me and correcting me on certain things with the club, because as I said, I was worried about Leyton reserves, not from a result perspective, but from a where is the club now going from a policy of they've made all of these big signings. Where is the club now going from this perspective? But yeah, no, I said Leyton reserves are doing very, very well this season. And if they can keep doing this, giving debuts to 16-year-olds and keep that progression going, then absolutely fair play to the club, fair play to the reserves, and long may it continue. I've got a lot of time for that. If Wisbech win, non-league show should hire an open top bus parade and we'll all go on a session in Wisbech. Shem, Leyton's under 16 EGA side on the Sunday have some great prospects. There we go. Then this weekend we have got some action coming up from the Thurlow Nunn North. Again, no midweek action, but it's Debenham versus Peterborough North End, Distown versus Holston Town, Framlingham versus UEA, Huntington versus Great Yarmouth, Leyton Reserves versus Sheringham, Needham versus Downham, Norwich CBS versus Parsons Drove, and Wisbech St Mary versus Whittlesea. Standout game. I want to see how Dis react to their managerial changes. That for me is that's the one I'm intrigued about the most. How Dis react, and it's against a very, very good team in Holston who have won 4 out of 4. I want to see how Dis react and bounce back from that result. So that for me is a standout game. What would be your standout one? Let us know in the comment section. Thurlow Nunn South, we had midweek action taking place. It was Barkingside 1, Frentford 1. The Ipswich versus Holland game was postponed. Warmley Rovers 3-1 against Parkview. Benfleet versus Coggeshall was a 0-0 draw. May and Baker 2, Newbury Forest 0. And then the weekend's action. We had Sudbury Reserves losing 4-0 to Benfleet. Brimstone versus Coggeshall was 1-1. Cornard 2, Parkview 3. Haverhill Borough continuing to struggle this season. They lost 5-1 to Frentford away from home. Hackney Wick 0, Ipswich Wanderers 2, Halstead 2, Wormley Rovers 2, May and Baker 2, Harwich and Parkston 2. 2 draws back to back there. Newbury Forest 6, Burnham Ramblers 2, and Wivenhoe 2, Barkingside 1. Dis versus Holston is a big local derby in there. Leyton Reserves versus Sheringham should be a belter. Dis versus Holston is a local derby. Leyton Reserves have some great youngsters. Henley played them in pre-season, and they are very exciting prospects. Love that. Keep those comments coming in. We have some midweek action. We have a few games taking place on the 24th and a few games taking place on the 25th. I'm just going to try and load up the Thurlow Nunn South, just so I can just remind myself about which games are being played on what day. So there we go. The top 2 fixtures, Burnham and Frentford, are being played on the Tuesday night, and everything below that is being played on the Wednesday. So we've got Burnham Ramblers versus Halstead Town and Frentford versus Wormley Rovers. And then it's Benfleet versus May and Baker, Coggeshall versus Cornard, Harwich versus Wivenhoe, and Parkview versus Buckhurst Hill on the Wednesday night. And then on the weekend is AFC Sudbury Reserves against Ipswich Wanderers. We've got Barkingside versus Coggeshall, Brimstone versus Hackney Wick, Burnham Ramblers versus Buckhurst Hill, Cornard versus Wormley Rovers, Harwich and Parkston versus Newbury Forest, Haverhill Borough versus Benfleet, Holland versus Halstead, and Park View versus May and Baker. So two of our local sides that left the Thurlow Nunn North are playing against each other with FC Sudbury reserves, who have just lost the last 2 games playing against Ipswich Wanderers. I think Ipswich will just be glad that they're playing a game of football. They probably won't really care who they're playing against at this point. And Haverhill, look, 4 defeats in a row. Need to start getting some points on the board. It doesn't get any easier against a Benfleet team who have, after their opening day defeat, have started to pick up a run of form. Love that a Wanderers player went to get a staff member at Hackney to make sure the away dressing room was up to good standard. Harwich form is odd. Yeah, 5 draws in a row. Mental. Yeah, really, really is mental on that one. I've just said what Matchday sent in to me. I will show that when we get onto the SIL in just a few seconds. Well, actually, right now, actually. So there we go. So that's the Thurlow Nunn South. That's all of the Thurlow Nunn fixtures. Let's move on to the SIL. Before I bring up the results, I do just want to show what Matchday has just produced here. This is what he's designed for Claydon's away kit. Oh, that is tasty. That is tasty. I love this. That stripe down there is absolutely class. What do you guys think of it? Let us know in the comment section. I think that's proper smart. And that logo on there just looks good. Looks really good. Well played, mate. You've outdone yourself there. I absolutely love that. Let us know what you guys think about it in the comment section. We'll get that posted out on our socials later on this evening. So that's the top 3. Really like it. Jack Owen, clap. Better than the Palace one. Debenham, Ransoms, and that one. Yeah, Dan, love that kit. I think that's really smart. That is a really, really smart kit and very well designed. Very well played, mate. Very, very well played. So, SIL results. Here we go. So, we had midweek action, which I'm really gutted that I couldn't get myself to one of these games on Wednesday. We had the weekend results, and we've got midweek action going on this week and also weekend results. So, from the midweek, East Burgold versus Bilderston was postponed. We had Claydon beating Achilles 3-1. Hawley United drawing 1-1 with Copplestonians. Henley beating Halesworth 2-1. Bennell getting a 5-1 victory away from home against Leyton St Margaret's. Old Newton 2, Capel Plough 2. Ransom Sports 2-1 against Ipswich Vale Exiles. And Trimley 4-3 win at home against Westerfield United. And I actually do have highlights of the Trimley versus Westerfield game, which I can show you on my screen right now. Let me just drop the graphic. This is actually courtesy of the Trimley Red Devils YouTube page. So again, make sure after tonight's show you go over there and subscribe to their channel. But here is the first goal. Just mute that there. Here is the first goal. Free kick routine, ball across. 1-0 to Trimley. And then 1 minute 20. So this goal was disallowed for offside. I'm still trying to figure out who was offside here, because when that ball is played, he's onside. But apparently this goal was disallowed for offside because the Lions flag goes up there. That's not offside for me. That's really... Because was it for that? Because even that, he's not offside. He hasn't got his flag up here. But he puts that up. Questionable. But on the next highlight here, this goal makes it 2-0. So a bit of a looping header. Good touch, but not really dealt with from a Westerfield perspective. Ball comes into the box, headed down, and a simple tap in to make it 2-0. We then have this one makes it 2-1. So this is Westerfield getting themselves back into the game. Good ball out on the left. Cuts inside. Back across goal. Lovely finish. So that was 2-1 to Trimley. And we then have to fast forward to 3 minutes on 18 seconds. So this goal made it 2-2. So from being 2-0 down, Westerfield get themselves back into the game. Nice touch here. And a good finish into the bottom corner makes it 2-2. 4 minutes 33 seconds. This is then Trimley taking the lead to go 3-2 up. So not really dealing with the guy. A lot of twists and turns, but that is a really good finish. Really, really good finish. So Westerfield haven't got themselves back from 2-2 to be 2-0 down to be 2-2. A lot of twisting and turning and a finish into the bottom, top corner of the net. We then have to skip forward to the 8-minute mark for the next goal in the game. This then gives Trimley a 2-goal lead. Look at this skill, nice little touch. Oh, then just puts it past the goalkeeper. I thought when he initially took it back over the guy's head, I thought at that point he was going to try and lob the goalkeeper, but he didn't. And then what turned out to be a little bit of a fight back from Westerfield here. This goal made it 4-3. Good through ball there and a smart finish underneath the goalkeeper, but turned out to be no more than just a consolation goal. So that is how that game played out. 4-3. 4-3. That result there. So again, confirmation of all of the fixtures up on there. Henley losing on Saturday against Burgolt was a surprise, but even weirder was them sweeting to find more players. Glenn, 100+ attendances in at least 3 games Wednesday in the SIL, which is brilliant. Was really shocked with the Henley result, but hey, Claydon are now top, going on Wednesday to Claydon versus Westerfield. Come over to Henley, Clark Bruce. On there, 3-1 to West Ham. Apparently, pick that one out. Hilarious seeing Potsy lose on the touchdown. Yeah, I did spot that. That was quite funny. He did the vote, like you said, you get yourself back into the game. It's 2-2, and then you can see the third goal, and he just looked, he was not happy, was he? Achilles looked like a decent player with a lot of young players. And then on the weekend, here are the weekend's action. So it was Bennell 4, Achilles 3, in what looks like a brilliant game of football. Bilderson's first game back. Obviously, they haven't really started off this season. They've had a lot. I think it's down to COVID. I think there was the reason why they haven't been playing, but that was the obviously they've just started getting back up and running again, but they drew 0-0 against Capel Plough. Copplestonians 1, Claydon 4, Halesworth 2-2 against Old Newton. A very good point for Old Newton away from home. Shock result that people have been talking about in the comment section: Henley 3, East Burgolt 5, Ipswich Vale 1, Trimley Red Devils. Ipswich Vale 0, Trimley 1, Leiston 1, Hawley 4, and Westerfield picking up a very good point against Ransom Sports at home 1-1. So very interesting results. The East Burgolt one has to be talked about as the standout result. That's a very impressive performance considering how well Henley have started off this season. That's a very, very good win. Away from home to get 5 goals against Henley is no mean feat. I have to give my performance to those guys there. Midweek action. Reminder for everybody who is looking to go to a game on Wednesday night. These games are taking place at 6:15 kickoffs. I cannot stress that enough. As I said, if you're wanting to go to an SIL game, 6:15 kickoffs for for all of these games. And just as a friendly prompt as well, the Copplestonians versus Old Newton game is being taken place on Tuesday night and is at 7:45 because obviously they play their games at Ipswich Wanderers. They have access to floodlights. So Copplestonians versus Old Newton is 7:45, and we'll be covering that on non-league now. But the rest of the games are 6:15 kickoffs. Back to the previous games, though. Tony Bergolt fully deserved their win on Saturday. Clinical finishing and capitalising on every Henley error. Bergolt are very apt, superbly organised from back to front. Those bottom two fixtures, yeah. Henley versus Bennell or Trimley versus East Bergolt could be very, very good games. Last minute penalty for Westerfield, but it was a very well-deserved point. There we go. So, yeah, Copplestonians versus Old Newton on the Tuesday, and then the Wednesday fixtures, Achilles versus Ransoms, Bilderston versus Hawley, Capel Plough versus Ipswich Vale Exiles, Claydon versus Westerfield, Halesworth versus Leiston, Henley versus Bennell, Trimley Red Devils versus East Bergolt United. I'm going to announce it tomorrow which game I'm off to, because I'm in free minds. It all depends on when I can leave work and which game I can get to. But the 3 games I have in mind, it's difficult. It's really difficult. But I'm thinking either Claydon, Achilles, or Henley, just in terms of where I can get to on a reasonable time. But I'm going to literally make a decision tomorrow about which game I go to. Henley, Claydon, or Achilles. It's so tough. So tough about which one I go to. I know you guys are going to probably chirp in right now about which one I should go to, but they're the games I'm thinking about doing. And then on the Saturday, moving back to Saturday weekend football, it's Achilles versus Leiston, Capel Plough versus Westerfield, Copplestonians versus Ransom Sports, Henley versus Claydon, which, oh my God, what a game of football that will be. Old Newton versus Hawley in a local derby, and Trimley versus Halesworth, which again, that's just mental. That is just absolutely mental. Shem, Halesworth. Yeah, again, I probably tend to agree with you on that one, going back to the midweek one. But yeah, we shall see. So yeah, those are the midweek ones. Those are the Saturday ones. Henley versus Claydon will be a brilliant match. I can't wait to see that particular game. Unfortunately, I can't go to a game on Saturday because it is mine and my wife's belated joint 30th birthday party. So I'm not going to be available on Saturday. Once again, I'm getting sick and tired of it. I can't wait to see the back end of August because it's been a horrible month with stuff being booked. I can't wait till September when I have a clear diary and I can just go to a game of football on a Saturday. But there we go. That is life, and we move on. So going on to SIL Div 1. Results from the weekend. It's Bromford Road Old Boys 1, Stow Upland Falcons 1. Grunsborough versus Southwell was postponed. Stanton versus Kesgrave was a 1-1 result. When Hastings 1, Bacton 3, and Wickham Market and Tattingstone playing at a 1-1 draw. So 3 games in this divisions were 1-1. Bacton, the only team collecting a win from this weekend in that division. Games coming up is Bacton versus Bromford Road Old Boys on the Saturday, Stanton versus Southwold, Stowe Falcons versus Sporting 87, Tattingstone versus Grunsborough, and Wickham Market versus Wenhaston United. Some good games on there. Stanton versus Southwold is probably the pick for me. Tattingstone versus Grunsborough could be a very, very tasty game. Could be very, very interesting. Tony, bring the missus to Henley Saturday, mate. We have a Wags and family barbecue after the game. Bacton versus Wickham now. Is it? Is it really? Let me just go onto the website. I don't know if you could well be right. You could well be right. Oh yeah, you are. No, you are dead right. Bacton versus Wickham Market. I didn't when that changed from last night. That did change. I did these graphics late last night, and that game wasn't on there. But no, you are right. Bacton versus Wickham Market, Stanton versus Southwold, Falcons versus Sporting, and Tattingstone versus Grunsborough are the games. So there we go. Bacton versus Wickham. Scrap the bottom two, the top and the bottom games. Shem is right. It is Bacton versus Wickham Market. Is it just me, or are Wickham underperforming, says Ipswich Town? Look, they're opening 2 games They've picked up 2 points from those opening 2 games. It's not been a great start, but it's not been a bad start. They've had 2 interesting fixtures against Tattingstone, who everyone knows are a very, very good team, and the first game of the season against Bromford Road Old Boys, who would be on the up because they've just been promoted. I'm sure those guys will turn things around very, very quickly. I've got no doubt about that. Div 2, it's Curtin and Saxmundham playing at a 1-1 draw. Ipswich Athletic 2, Witnesham Wasps 2, Somersham 1, Wolverstone United 3. Thurston winning 3-0 at Stonham Aspel. Great result for those guys over at Thurston. And Ufford beating Elmswell by 1-0. Wolverstone continuing to do well. Good win away from home. Opening top 2 games, draws in that one. Ufford continuing to do well, but I said for Thurston, great win against Stonham. This weekend's action is Cockfield versus Saxmundham, Ipswich versus Melton, Curtin versus Witnesham Wasps, Somersham versus Thurston, and the game of the weekend in Div 2, without a doubt, Ufford Sport versus Wolverstone. What a game that could be. If someone could go to that game and give me a match report, that would be fantastic, because that on paper looks like a brilliant game of football. Shemhouse says match day. I expected them to be better, seeing as they've signed a few players from Felixstowe. Yeah, I think it will come. It will gel. It's just been a quite tough opening games for Wickham. Dave, I saw a wonderful, intense, passionate League C matchup, Elmswell versus Somersham. Let me know what the report was, mate. Put it in the conversation. We'd love to hear it. Div 3 results. There's some mad results in Div 3. Aldborough 2, AFC Wanderers 3. Bromford United 2, Occol 1. Leiston Youth beating Hope Church by 5-1. Needham Market Phoenix losing 7-1 to Great Blakenham Checkers. The Stage versus Kesgrave game was postponed. Unity 0, Laxfield 4. Great Blakenham, 7 goals away from home is a brilliant performance. Leiston Youth, Laxfield getting big wins, but AFC Wanderers getting a win away from home, 3-2 against Aldborough. That is a very, very good performance. I like that. Goals, says Jack, 100%. Highlights on the Wickham YouTube channel says Shem and Luke loving the Wolverstone win. From the action coming up this weekend, we've got FC Wanderers versus Leiston Youth. Bardwell, hopefully kickstarting their campaign against Bromford United. Great Blakenham versus Aldborough. Hope Church versus Wortham. Laxfield versus Needham Market. Occol versus Kesgrave Kestrels. And Stage versus Unity. So all that leaves from me to round up this week's action is to do the Super 6. Here are the games that we have gone for. Games that I've gone for, rather, because I'm the one that's picking up these ones. I just got Adam to do the Super 6. Let's put it in the chat right now. If you want to enter into the Super 6, the survey is going to Facebook, to YouTube, and of course to Twitch. Click the link and enter your predictions in. As of next week, Adam has kindly prompted to do a league table, and we will get the opening rounds of fixtures up on the screen, so we'll see who is doing what. Sorry, Dan. It was just too good of a game to leave out. I really couldn't leave it out. So we've got Colville Town versus Needham Market, Moldham and Tiptree versus Stowe Town, Long Milford versus Thetford, Woodbridge versus Lake and Heath, Henley versus Claydon, and Trimley versus Halesworth. Good luck predicting Henley, Claydon, and Trimley, Halesworth. That is all I am going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Good luck predicting those last 2 games, because Christ above. Those results could be anything. If you told me that Claydon and Halesworth beat those 2 teams, I'd believe you. If you told me Henley and Trimley won, I would believe you. Those 2 games are going to be unbelievably hard to predict. So get your thoughts by completing the Super 6 survey. As I said, the link for the survey has gone into the chat. I will get this posted out on social media throughout the week, so we remind you. deadlines will close this upcoming Saturday. I haven't changed that bit at the bottom, but it will be closing this upcoming Saturday, the 28th at 12 p.m. Make sure you get predictions in. Yes, yeah, Dave, I know. I did spot that when I filled out my predictions. Don't worry, it's definitely Trimley versus Halesworth. Just ignore that oversight from Mr. Wade. He's away on his holiday. I got him to do it last minute. We're lucky we have it. We're lucky we have a Super Six. That's all I'm going to say. Shem has done his. Fantastic. Adam, can't wait to be back next week. I can't wait for you to be back either, mate. I really can't. So, yeah, that is going to round up tonight's show. It's a little bit shorter than normal, but these things will happen when it is just myself. I'm sure if we had Adam here, we could bounce it off and talking about the headlines and the stories, etc. But there we go. I hope you've all enjoyed it. It's been a really good show from my perspective. I've enjoyed doing it. It's nice to just get back into a routine of doing the show. Because as I said, last week, although we did it, was a hell of a struggle. The rest of the week was just a write-off. But yeah, as I said, tomorrow is non-league now, 7:40. Join me as I do all of the video printers and the local results and talking points, and we'll get all of the fixtures and goals as they come in up on the screen. Hopefully as many of you can join me as is possible tomorrow night. Wednesday, I will announce my game that I'm going to on social medias tomorrow for an SIL game, which I will be covering on Wednesday night. Really looking forward to getting a match day experience back under my belt. Yeah, so we had the show tonight, non-league now tomorrow, a game on Wednesday. We are back up and running and in full steam. But thanks to everybody get involved in the comment section, covering all of that kind of stuff like that. Yeah, really, really does mean a lot on there. Great show again. See you next week. Elmswell 2, Somersham 2, all Somersham, but Elmswell held firm. Huge fines for Adam. Yeah, we'll make sure we do something for him. James, great show again, mate. Thank you so much. That really does mean a lot. Good job, James. Looking forward to Ant and Deck being reunited next week, as am I. Updating the form for Halesworth. Appreciate that, mate. Well done. Shem, well done, James, mate. 1 year and going strong. Yeah, again, I will do this as a final message before I read out some of your comments. Yes, I will make sure we do the Ipswich game. We'll give them a little bit of coverage for tomorrow night because no other show does Ipswich Town. I don't know if you know, but there's not a single person who covers Ipswich online. It's weird that. But yes, I will be covering the Ipswich game in the video printer. Don't you worry about it. But yeah, going off Shem's message here, to every single person who has made this year a reality, to all of you who are in the comment section, to every sponsor that we've ever had on board, everybody who's DM'd us, given us tips, hints, suggestions on how we can improve the show, for everybody who gets involved, gives us match reports, highlights for everybody who's come on the show, the interviews that we've done, every single member of every single team who's ever helped us out. If you're one of those people who has ever made donations towards the show, one-off, monthly, regular contributions, I can't thank you guys enough, because without getting too soppy and sentimental, we're at the year mark, so I can reflect on it. It's been an amazing year. Considering we've had next to no football to talk about, I am unbelievably proud of the work that we have done to be getting to this point. And I just want to say a massive thank you to every single one of you who is still here watching the show and just continues to come back week in and week out. This is my life now. This is a part of my life, and I'm so grateful to everybody who has stuck with us. Yeah, it's just been an incredible journey. We are by no means done yet. We've still got a long way to go. This year, I think, with the non-league now becoming part of the show and doing those regular updates on scores throughout the weeks, etc., it could take the show and the channel to another step and another journey, but we shall see. But yeah, thank you so much to everybody who is making what has been a difficult year bearable and fun and interesting. And I just really, really appreciate every single one of you who has who has helped us out. But again, reminder: if you are going to a game tomorrow, get in touch with me on DMs, message me, email me if you want to get involved. I'd love to get you on tomorrow night's show. Really would appreciate that. See you later, James. Maybe see you Wednesday. Maybe I'll let you know all tomorrow. Good show, mate, says Sam. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Sheepskin coat out ready for Mole Burton tomorrow night. I look forward to hearing your reports on the game. Hannah, thank you for keeping me sane over the last year. No problem. I'm glad we've kept each other sane, which is the most important thing. But yeah, enjoy your evening, guys. Hope you all have a fantastic week. If you're at a game, enjoy it. You want to come on the show, again, repeating myself, get in touch. If not, hopefully if you're at the game Wednesday that I am covering, I will see you then. But thank you very much, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah, I will see you all very, very soon. Until next time, as always, everybody, adios.